Alright, time to review some DC comics. First off, Action Comics. Okay, this title has been pretty dull, hasn't really been worthwhile reading since Flamebird and Nightwing took over. All I can say is Chris sulking about how everyone hates them because they're Kryptonians, it doesn't matter how good they do. Then he's complaining about how if the Flamebird revealed itself to Thera, then how come the Nightwing hasn't revealed itself to him? Thera gives him the Book of Rayo to read, and it basically tells him the origin about how Rayo created Krypton, then about how there were certain deities such as Flamebird and Vok, the Builder. Then it talks about how Vok created Twilights that Nightwing and Flamebird can meet, but that Vok really loved Flamebird himself, and he decided to trap Nightwing in a crystal, and then Vok became known as Vok the Betrayer. And then Chris realizes the origin. He talks to Thera about how they'll free the Nightwing, and then you can figure out what happened there. Then Jax-Ur shows up to talk to the Flamebird, and it's pretty much implied that now he's possessed, that Jax-Ur has Vok the Betrayer within him. And then Thera and Chris go off to the pyramids to find out because of what the Flamebird told Thera, and then they show up, and then they realize it's Jax-Ur, and then he activates sun crystals that were inside Chris that are growing throughout him, causing him pain. And then it's revealed that this was a trap, and then that actually Jax-Ur is planning on resurrecting Rayo. Alright, and the Captain Atom, all I can say is it's just him trying to figure out, talking to the Justice League and the Shadow Pact, and then he has to go figure out a way to get back to Maravi's world, and he has to go through Scar Terrace. Okay, that's it for Captain Atom. So far, get Action, just if you don't want a hole in your collection. If you are actually enjoying the Captain Atom story, then get it for that, I guess. But I can't really think of any good reason why this would be a good story, alright? Just getting it so I don't have a hole in my collection, alright? Next up, Booster Gold, number 29. Booster's think about what he did last issue, which was ensure the creation of the cyborg Superman. Booster's flying back, and then all of a sudden Rip pulls him into the timeline. Then we have the time traveler from last issue, Sandra, who says that, and it's revealed her mission is to stop the destruction, is to make sure that people don't die in Coast City. Then we have Cyborg Superman talking to Michelle Carter, Booster's sister, and she comes to realize about how the destruction of Coast City. Rip goes to talk about Booster, and they have a debate about how they can let bad stuff happen, and that really out of most of the bad stuff comes new ages of heroism. Michelle talks to her boyfriend about how they need to leave because everyone's going to die in Coast City. And then we have Booster showing up to the Coast City in the old Coast City, and then Sandra's trying to get the government to listen about evacuating Coast City. Then Booster has a little spat with her, and then Skeet scans her and then reveals that her data's off and that Coast City won't die in a few days. It'll be today within the hour. And so now pretty much she's angry at Booster for doing this, and then Booster tries to counteract it, saying that what else would you try to prevent after this? That you can't control time. Then Michelle thinks that this guy in a hobos with the Coast City's doomed repent might be Booster. So she tries to follow him, but then boom, big orb but then one of the cyborg's orbs fall, and then we've got Booster and Sandra discussing what they're gonna do, and then all of a sudden all the orbs from Return of the Superman drop, where it could lead to the cyborg nuking Coast City. Alright, for our Blue Beetle co-feature, Jaime is still possessed by the Reach. Peacemaker's trying to break through to him, and we've got a fight. Then Peacemaker's trying to help him fight back. Then after Jaime's friends leave the pyramid, he takes out a missile, blows up tries to blow up the pyramid, and the Blue Beetle tries to prevent it from being destroyed, but Jaime's able to fight back, and then, boom. Jaime's alive, and Peacemaker leaves, and Jaime states in the end, in the little epilogue, that he thinks the Scarab is better now, and that things are going to be okay, and that's the end of the Blue Beetle co-feature. Okay. Booster Gold number 29 was an okay read. I mean, one of my favorite Superman stories was Return of Superman, Death Return of Superman, and I felt enjoyable reading about how Booster had to ensure the origin of the cyborg Superman. Right? And about my only comment about the Blue Beetle co-feature is that it's over. I mean, Jaime was a character I liked, but he's not one of my favorites. It just felt good to have him in here as a secondary feature, but, you know, life goes on. Next up, Batman and Robin, number 8. We've got Batwoman explaining in a flashback how she wound up in the mine with the Lazarus Pit. Then we have Batman rising out of the Lazarus Pit, and he goes and attacks Dick Grayson. And then we have another flashback here that reveals that when Darkseid tried to make this army of Batmen, after they were all compromised, he destroyed all but one of them that he could use. Then we have Dick Grayson, Batwoman, Knight, and Squire fighting a clone of Bruce Wayne. Except he's corrupted and insane. Alright, we've got a fight going on about how the Bat clone is trying to kill them. And they're almost able to do it. Dick realizes that it's not him. But then all of a sudden the mine collapses on them. Dick tries to save Batwoman. Then we have the Bat clone escaping. Alfred realizes the body's gone. Then the Bat clone is trying to get back to Wayne Towers. And we have Damian returning from where Talia had him recover, and his doctor orders him no physical activity for 2 weeks, which pisses him off. Then we have Batman talking to Batwoman, and Kathy Kane says that, and Batwoman says that she has to die, and that she has an idea. Then Knight and Squire find Batman and Robin, and Batman says that Batwoman died in his arms, which would make the religion of crime pretty happy. And then we have the Bat plane landing, and Alfred wants to see what's going on, and he thinks it's Bruce Wayne, but then Damian checks out the Bat computer about where Dick Grayson is, and then Alfred gets thrown in, and Damian's a little shocked to see the Bat clone. Alright. Good thing we're cleared up about who the resurrected Batman, who the Batman in the Lazarus Pit is. That's not really Bruce Wayne, it's actually the clone, which is good. Finally we got that issue cleared up about whose body that was. It was Bruce Wayne's, but technically it wasn't. Alright, I also enjoyed and I also felt it would be a little strange that Batwoman had to say that she would have died. Had to say that she would have faked her death in this one instead of where she is now in Detective Comics, I guess, which is a little strange. Then we have Batman. And it's also interesting to see what's going to happen in Gotham since Damian's incapacitated and can't fight back. Alright, Batman and Robin number 8, I would definitely recommend picking up. Alright, now stay tuned I have one more comic from DC. Stay tuned for that one.